Alright, it's time. Touhou. We're lost at sea this time. 1.1.pc/pc. There's. Uh, we're lost at the sea of our peace. Lost in the sea of our peace stuff. Alright, I'm liking that. Alright, I got enamored by the music. It's good. I like it. It's doing good stuff there, music-wise. Yeah, you go, game. Lost at sea 1.1. Got the dark sea there. Some rocks. Don't crash on the rocks. Let's begin. Oh fuck, we have a gameplay. Oh god damn, we have. Oh god. Okay. Some kind of point and click thing. All right. It's a Friday afternoon, and Reiko and I studying at her apartment. She has physics papers strewn all over the bed between us. I'm keeping my book on my lap so that I don't lose it in the mess of notes. We've both been working peacefully for about half an hour when Reiko jumps, realizing something. Oh, I should be on this side then.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's something I want to show you.
She rummages around in her bag for a few moments before coming up with a crumpled piece of paper. After some half-hearted attempts to flatten it on her knee, she holds it out to me. It's a flyer, decorated with a large image of a sailing ship. Underneath the text says, "Grand Opening!" Oh, it's Maribel, right.
What's this? They're opening a museum ship for tours. Cool. What does this have to do with our classwork or with the club?
It's haunted, of course. Supposedly. It sank a couple 100 years ago. Now the ghosts of the old crew roam the ship.
And you said they were offering tours?
I thought we could go together. It's been a while since we had the chance to go on a real date. And it's cheaper than going to the moon. There's a student discount for the entrance fee.
Ah, the student discounts. Always utilize those.
You mean doing homework in the same room doesn't count as a real date?
She throws the flyer at me, but since she did crumple it up first, it floats uselessly to the bedspread between us.
There's a tour tomorrow night. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some ghosts.
I pick up a piece of paper. The words twinkle up at me. Mysterious disappearance. No known survivors.
It's a date.
Ah, haunted sea date. Ah, that's a cool ship. Old sailing ship. It's been nicely restored. That's not a ship that's been sunk at all. Tour guide, What you see before you is a one-to-one recreation of the great warship Perseverance, which disappeared under mysterious circumstances around 200 years ago. However, the exact date of the sinking remains unknown. Okay, it's a recreation. That's good. It's a good recreation. That's fucking expensive recreation.
Wait, it's a recreation?
I whisper to Reiko.
I guess so. The flyer didn't say that. How can a recreation be haunted? It's just a fake.
I mean, hey, a recreation is still a physical object that exists. It can be haunted by something that happened recently, or where it's located. Don't judge things just because it's a recreation. It's physically real. It's right there. You can enter and tour it. It might not have the history tied to it, but it's still there. It can make it. It's generating its own history right now as it exists. So don't bash replicas and fakes or whatnot. Like, it's still a thing that exists and does the thing. The Perseverance was last spotted on a clear night by a nearby merchant vessel, and then sailed out of view, never to be seen again. At the time, it was theorized to have disappeared due to supernatural influences. Some people said it was spirited away by a ship's phantom, or that the area it was sailing it through was cursed. I unfocus my eyes a little as the tour guide leads us onto the deck, searching for traces of the supernatural, but I can't make out any boundaries. Now that we know more, the prevailing theory is that the Perseverance sank due to a lack of maintenance causing the rudder to stick. This most likely led to the ship veering off course and crashing into some unknown obstacle. The guy pauses and plasters a wide-eyed look onto his face. However, Since there were no survivors, who's to say? Maybe it really was a curse that drove the ship off course that night. Tour guides get to have fun like that. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He leads us down a ladder that opens the door to a side room. Inside, protected by glass, is the ship's helm, a wooden wheel that sits upright in a frame. This is the ship's helm. It's been moved to this room for protection. When Perseverance was still seaworthy, this would have been located above decks even. This wheel is where the crew steered the ship from, or more specifically, struggled in vain to correct their course on that fateful night. Something is nagging at me, and I squint my eyes again. The air around the helm looks faintly distorted. Could it be supernatural influences? It's the pixelation. Don't let it get to you. Or is the glass just reflecting the light strangely? Yeah, it's very green. Reiko stands close beside me and listens intently to the tour guide's words. Thanks to the recent discovery of the ship's wreckage, we've been able to study the layout and create this full-scale replica. Since the original ship's artifacts were too old and water damaged to be museum pieces, everything you see here is a careful reconstruction. This helm is actually the one piece of the original ship that we have on display here. Take a good look. This may have been where the sailors took their final desperate stand. The wood of the helm is cracked and weathered. A patch at the bottom of the wheel shows where barnacles have been pried off.
I wish we could touch it. If everyone got to touch it, it would probably ruin the wood over time. I don't mean everyone, just us.
Now, if you'll come with me, let's explore the rest of the rooms below decks.
Double dots. Triple dots. They're already triple dots, but yeah, it's the whoopsies. Reiko and I look at each other in silence for a few moments as the last guests file past, headed for the parking lot. I don't want to tell her the tour is underwhelming since it was her idea, but... well, it was. Reiko sighs.
I hate to say it, but that was kind of disappointing. There definitely weren't any ghosts.
Phew, it wasn't just me.
It was a good idea, but I can't believe the ship is just a replica.
I mean, it's fucking impressive. It's probably harder to build something like that these days than it used to be, considering the craftsmanship is different. Like, okay, no, it's probably not more difficult, but just like the art of the craft is more scarce. There's definitely craftsmen who can do that stuff, but it's not the common trade anymore. Like, you know. Anyway.
Seeing the way such an old ship would have been built was cool, but yeah, it wasn't the real thing.
I mean, it's perfectly real right there, but anyway. I get it.
They shouldn't have advertised it as if it was. I'm not even sure this counted as a haunted ship tour.
The real ship is still sitting at the bottom of the ocean after all.
Of course. Ghosts wouldn't haunt recreation when they could haunt the original.
It's all about the history of the place. You're right. With that in mind, I don't think they can call it a haunted ship tour at all. I sigh and shuffle my feet. It's a little windy on the dock, and a cold breeze blows over us, making Renko put a hand on her hat to keep it from blowing away.
It would have been cool to get a closer look at the original ship's helm. That was the only thing I felt could have been supernatural.
Wait, really? You think so?
I'm not sure, but I felt something around it. Too bad the tour guide moved us past so quickly.
Let's go back in then.
What?
Let's sneak it after the museum closes. Just to look around. It shouldn't be too hard. I doubt their security is very tight. After all, who would bother to break into a replica ship other than us? Aye, she's got a point. It's a good point. The ship looms over us, creaking a little as it rocks in its berth. I nod decisively.
Let's do it. It's worth checking out, even if we don't find the boundary.
Great! We head away from the docks to idly spend some time in a tea shop nearby while we wait for the museum to close. Renko insists that she needs caffeine for the night ahead. It seems like our date won't be ruined by the boring tour after all. Yeah, date's just getting started. A few hours later, we return to the ship. The body noises are making things. They were sneaky.
Does it feel scarier to you now that there's no tour guide? Honestly, it's just an empty ship. Still doesn't feel haunted at all.
Reiko nods and we head for the same ladder that the tour guide took us down earlier.
Do you think they keep these lights on all the time?
That seems like a waste of electricity. Anyway, while we're here, we might as well look around a little. There could be traces of the supernatural on things other than the helm.
Yeah, who knows? Everything used to be new and fresh at some point, and then it got mystery. I'm still hung up on the idea. Replicas are still real things and they do the thing. Like, I don't get why people are so hung up about it's just a replica, it's so fake. Like, it still exists, it's still there. So what? It still took effort to make. We explore a few other rooms, but nothing stands out to me. Finally, we find ourselves in front of the door to the room that holds the helm. Renko pushes open the door and we go inside. Oh, there's a crack. Uh-oh, hello gaps. Now that we aren't surrounded by other museum goers, the boundary stands out to me immediately.
There's a weak spot right here, Reiko.
Her eyes gleam. Is it tied to the helm?
It must be. It's the only artifact from the original ship, remember?
I approach. Even behind the glass of its frame, the helm seems to shine in my sight. I reach out a hand, as if I'm about to touch it, and then the lights go out.
Mary?
The ship shifts all at once beneath our feet, and I stumble, reaching out for Reiko and clutching at her hand in the dark. Her responding grip is firm.
Hold on. We shouldn't get separated in the dark.
Let me see if I can find the door.
Ow! I stumble as Reiko pulls on my hand, hard.
What happened?
I think I ran into a chair.
A chair? Weren't those pushed up against the walls before?
Yeah, to make room for the tour group. Maybe things slid around when the ship moved. I wonder why that happened too. There shouldn't have been a surge inside the harbor.
Could it have been the wind?
Hold on, I think I found the door.
Ah, that's a nasty creak.
I don't remember those being oil lamps before.
I got teleported.
This is pretty strange.
Yeah, you're at... We climb the ladder again and emerge onto the open deck. Welcome to the stormy seas. The wind yanks at my hair, and for a moment, I imagined that the wind could have caused the shift we felt below decks. And then I see what surrounds us.
Oh!
We're sailing?
Yeah, open ocean indeed. I finally let go of Renko's hand to move to the railing and look over. Sure enough, there's no sign of the dock we boarded from. Only ocean, stretching as far as I can see into the darkness around us. When I turn back around, Renko is craning her neck, looking up at the sky.
I can see the stars really clearly here. Way more clearly than in the city. No light pollution. We must be pretty far out then.
Oh yeah, it's really far out.
It's the 2 minutes and 17 seconds after midnight just now.
Renko announces with confidence.
But it was only a little past 11 when we got onto the ship. Can that much time really have passed?
Renko shakes her head.
Can you tell where we are?
She squints up at the moon.
I could give you the coordinates, but all I can say about them is that they are in the middle of the ocean.
I probably could have figured that out on my own.
She pokes me in the shoulder, hard.
Well, I wonder what all of this has to do with the weak spot in the boundary.
Maybe it was a gateway to a realm on the other side, like when we went to the Netherworld.
That was on purpose. I barely approached the helm before we ended up here.
A larger wave rocks the ship hard again, and we both have to steady ourselves on the deck. When I look up at Renko again, she's frowning.
Mary, I think there's something we should be worrying about more than the boundary.
What's that?
The last recorded sighting of the Perseverance was on a clear night, right? And here we are, 2 minutes after midnight in the middle of the ocean, with no one to be seen.
I look at her as she straightens up, staring out over the railing at the salt spray whipped up by the wind.
This ship is going to sink.
Ah, ominous music time.
If it's going to sink, then we have to get out of here before it does. Who knows what will happen to us?
Renko nods. We look into each other's eyes for a moment, determined. Wind and water blow across the deck. Ah, fuck, we have the gate plane. Ah, look at the sky. I guess we're gonna... Alright. Oh god, we have gameplay. We have to explore. Let's go to the side, into the room. There it is!
But where's the wheel?
I said the thing. We stare in bafflement at the sight before us. Although the stand of the helm is clearly intact, the wheel itself, with its grips for turning, is missing.
That can't be right. How can you steer a ship without a wheel?
Ah, well, it's in the tour guide place.
You can't.
Of course you can't. At the sound of a new voice, we both turn, startled. Oh, that's a creepy guy. Standing before us, holding the wheel of the helm as if it weighs nothing at all, is a pale-faced young woman with a broad smile. Sure, person, very androgynous.
Who are you?
She continues as if Rico never spoke. I said, of course you can't sail a ship without its helm. It's impossible. And that's why this ship is going to sink.
How did you take that wheel off? And why do you want the ship to sink?
She shrugs. You could say sinking ships is my job. Or you could say it's for fun. I don't really care. She taps two fingers against the wood of the helm, looking thoughtful for a moment. Say, does either of you happen to have a ladle?
Like for broth?
The woman with the helm doesn't answer, continuing to smile in that unsettling way, and Renko and I exchange a look.
No, we don't have a ladle.
Ladle? I don't know. Pity.
Wait.
Before either Reiko and I can get another word out, she runs for the hatch we climbed up through. Startled, I'm too slow to give chase. Reiko charges after her, her heels pounding on the deck. But the hatch slams shut before she can get to it. When she wrenches it open again, she stares into the darkness below for a moment and then sighs.
No sign of her. She's gotten away. Darn. How are we supposed to prevent the ship from crashing when we can't steer it? At this rate, we're going to sink with it.
She walks back over to me, scuffling her feet glumly.
The tour guide mentioned that people thought the sinking of the ship was strange, but this takes the cake.
Cake.
It doesn't make sense that someone could have actually stolen the helm. Maybe this is just a representation of how people saw the sinking. Like when that boundary let us cross into the dreams.
You mean we haven't actually traveled back in time? I shrug.
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell with these things. But it doesn't seem like the real cause of the ship sinking should have been a girl stealing the wheel.
Well, when you put it that way.
Anyway, I'm not quite sure she was a regular person.
Oh, what gave it away? Was it the green skin or something?
What do you mean? Didn't you see how pale she was and how blue her lips were? Sometimes you could almost see through her.
So you think she was a yokai or something?
More like a funayure.
Ship's phantom?
Exactly. Someone who drowned and now haunts and sinks ships.
That could be.
There's one other reason I think she could be a funayure. Funayure.
What's that, Mary?
She asked for a ladle.
Yeah, I did think that was kind of weird.
According to legend, a funayure typically appears to the sailors of a ship and asks them for a ladle. Ladle? I don't know. The phantom then fills that ladle with seawater and floods the ship, sinking it.
Definitely not the sort of problem you have nowadays.
Right. But over time, sailors learned that if they gave the funayure a ladle with a hole in the bottom, the water would pour out and the phantom would get frustrated and leave.
So you think we gave her a ladle with a hole in the bottom, she might leave and give us the helm back?
It's worth a try, don't you think?
It's not like there's anything else we can do. I clap my hands together.
Great. Then our next task is to find the ladle.
Alright, let's go back there. Let's go inside. Let's inspect the barrel, nothing in the barrel. Let's go to the left. Let's inspect the cannons. Let's look at the cannon. The cannon points its muzzle out over the waves. Not much else to go off there. Let's keep going. There's a cannonball. A heavy cannonball sits on the floor. Alright. Hey, we're in the kitchen.
Do you see this, Mary?
I peer through the galley window beside her. There inside the kitchen are a handful of half-transparent shapes sitting around the table and seeming to eat out of bowls.
What do you think? They look like ghosts to me. The ghosts of the old sailors, maybe? No matter how they are, we can't go in there while they're eating. It wouldn't be good for all of them to notice us. What then? Distract them?
We spend a moment or two glancing around, but neither of us can see anything that would make a good distraction.
Ordinarily, I'd suggest making a small fire to set off a smoke alarm, but on an old wooden sailing ship? There's no way that's a good idea, for multiple reasons. What about a really loud noise?
We did literally right there. Yeah.
Oof, this is heavy. Will you be able to manage it?
Yeah, I got it.
Just don't make me carry it for too long, alright?
Well, I mean, the cannon's right there. Cannonball. Cannon.
We can fire the cannon to make a loud noise as a distraction. Sure, but a cannonball alone isn't enough to fire a cannon. Ah, you're right. We'll need to find gunpowder and something to light the fuse with.
Fiddles.
This means I have to keep carrying the cannonball. Drat.
Alright. Okay. Let's keep going to the right now. What's in the closet? The boundary room is still locked. Okay, nothing in the closet. Well, it's not closet, but anyway. Alright, let's go further into the ship. Can't go further into the ship. Oh, well, we can. Oh, bunk. Okay. Well, that's...
This is gunpowder, isn't it?
Terrific. Let's take it with us. Alright. No, never mind. A sack of some sort. It's flammable. I try to peer inside the barrel, but the top is sealed.
No luck here. Unless we find the crowbar, I guess. What do you think what's in there? Anyway. Given the age of the ship, hardtack probably.
Yeah. Not something you want to eat. Anyway, nothing else here. Let's go left. We got some wood, some boards set propped up against the wall.
If all else fails, I guess we could try building a raft. I don't think the amount of boards here could hold the weight of 2 people. I was kidding. There's lifeboats on the top deck anyway. Though considering there were no known survivors, I don't know how much that would help.
You've got a point there. Alright, expect the thing. An axe. A carpenter's workbench littered with tools. There's a handful of wedges along with some clamps and a bore. There are some tools on one of the benches in the room. Okay, well, good. We'll use that later. Did we already go here? No.
This looks like it's where the crew sleeps.
We should probably be quiet in here. There might be more of those ghost sailors.
Right.
Alright, I'll inspect the thing book.
Wow, listen to this. The Perseverance is entering dangerous waters. Our captain insists the conditions are fine, but I've spoken to Mr. Sloan, and he believes that the waters here hide dangerous outcroppings of stone. I imagine there's no chance of my convincing the captain. He has closed his ears to his lieutenants. Lieutenants, even.
Lieutenants.
I only hope that we reach a safe harbor from which I can send my letters to Thomas. Once we're through this strait, I will breathe easily again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's nothing else after that. But there are a few numbers written on the back of the book. 107.
Great, let's try to remember that. 107, okay. What's in the box? Hey, there's a combination lock on here.
Maybe it has something to do with that diary we read?
The code we read in the diary was 107. 107.
Let's hope this works. Otherwise, we read that guy's diary for nothing. I like to think of it as keeping his story alive.
Here we go. Looks like it's mostly clothes in here. Also a pouch of tobacco.
Ooh. Promising. You can't smoke without a lighter.
There's a knife, some more papers, and matches. Ooh, they have matches this time.
Sorry for stealing from you, Mr. Ghost Sailor.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, we left him his tobacco.
It's not like either of us smoke.
Shh, it still counts. Shoot. Anyway, well, we got all the things. No, wait, we need to go up now. Go. Look, we should have everything up. Right? We got things.
Alright, are we doing this? Do we know how to do this?
I've watched some documentaries. It's gotta be the same, right?
Boy, I hope so.
Happy to be rid of this cannonball. It was so heavy.
You know, I could have helped you carry it.
Too late now. Down the barrel it goes. No, you first. Okay. Which pours smoothly from the ball we found it in. Okay. Okay, gunpowder and cannonball. Would you like to do the honors?
Sure. I don't trust covering my ears to be enough protection, though. Once I light the fuse, let's run and hide, okay?
Got it. I light a match and touch it to the fuse, which begins hissing noisily. Renko and I take our cue to dash away. We duck around the corner of another cannon and crouch, putting our hands over our ears. When the cannon goes off, it's still so loud, I feel like the floor moves beneath me, more than the typical motion of the ship, that is. The explosion is followed by a loud chorus of voices, and then footsteps hurry past us. I pull my hands cautiously from my ears. Renko does the same, and we look at each other with wide eyes. From the direction of the explosion, the voices continue.
I guess we're clear. Let's go.
We creep quietly out of the room. The ghostly sailors are all clustered around the cannon we fired at the far end of the room, so we're able to make our way to the kitchen without being seen.
Here, I found a ladle.
Good find. She puts her hand on my shoulder. That's half of the work done. Next we just have to put a hole in it and give it to the helm thief.
So how do we make a hole in the bottom of the ladle?
I mean, well, first of all, we could use an actual knife. I mean, it's just wooden ladle. With a little bit of fuckery, you can do that with a knife. We can stab a hole in the bottom of the ladle with this knife.
Put that down, you'll cut yourself.
Okay, we'll have to find something else. Boo. Anyway, inspect the chicken. A whole chicken hangs above the counter. I spot Reiko eyeing it.
We'll have plenty of time for soup when we get home.
Ah! Alright. A collection of cooking utensils. An uncovered cured ham sits on the countertop.
I'm glad we ate before we came here.
It's hard to see through the thick glass, but when I put my face close to it, I think I can faintly make out ghostly figures passing by. Alright. Ooh, inspect anything. Oh, the whole thing was lit up.
Maybe we could burn a hole in the bottom of the ladle?
It's made of wood after all. Nah, that's a bad idea. I mean, it's doable, but no. There's no way we can be precise about that. We just burn up the whole ladle.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then we have no way to stop the Funuyure.
Hey, maybe it's important that the ladle is wooden?
What do you mean?
Well, sailing ships used to have carpenters on board, right?
Right, and the carpenter would have a tool we could use to bore a hole.
Let's stop looking around. The kitchen. Besides, we better get out of here before those sailors come back. Yeah, alright, fair enough. I mean, I already know where we're going. Let's go. Tools. There are some tools on one of the benches in the room, but none of them seem to be broken. Look for. Let's check the other bench. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Did you even take shop, Renko?
No, I'm more into the theoretical stuff. But this is a carpenter's bore, right? I think we can figure it out.
Here, let me try.
Most carpentry tools are pretty simple. You just put the thing and then you do circular motions with the thing. Or seesaw motions, pretty straightforward.
This is probably good enough, right?
Perfect. Now we just have to give this to the ship's phantom and it should make her leave. Alright, let's go find the phantom thief. Not that kind of thief, phantom thief, but let's go up and above. And where are ya? Not here. Let's look up at the sky again. Nothing to look up at the sky with. Nothing to interact with there. And let's go. Alright. How about you? Wait, pulls on the door handle. This time the door slides into its frame. Oh.
Ah, it's open.
Cool. There she is. She pulls it the rest of the way open. When we step inside, the room is no longer dark. It is faintly illuminated by a pale, ghostly light that emanates from the girl standing in the middle of the room. Ah, you two again. She holds the helm off to one side, balancing against the floor. Aside from the chairs which have been pushed to one side of the room, she is the space's only occupant. From time to time, her hand seems to waver, and I can almost see the grain of the wood through her fingers. If you're just here to ask for the helm, I'm not handing it over. The ship sinks tonight.
Honestly, we don't care if the ship sinks. We just want to get off of it first.
That's not my problem. If you want to leave, then leave. I unfocus my eyes. The boundary is visible as a thin line just behind the Funayure, but I can't sense any weak spots. There's no way we can leave right now. We need more time. Reiko glances at me, and I shake my head. What a shame. Okay. More time for what? What? Oh, you want me? What more do you want? Sack some sort of trap here. Okay. We need to find more time. Nothing else here. Thanks for the call, Mr. Ghost Sailor. Okay. What else do we have? Wait. Axe. This boards. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, no. Okay. What do you mean I need more time? No, we just went from there. Wait, we just went there. I can't remember anything else to do here. Anything you? It's hot. Okay, it is very hot. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay. Can't take the knife. There's just some ghosts hanging around. Okay. Why you want from me? What kind of secrets are you holding? Here. Some more. Did I miss something? Ladle with all. Or do I need to click on the ladle? I guess I need to go. Direct with the here. Alright, I forgot. I completely forgot about the inventory because it's so that. Anyway,
Here, is this what you want?
Reiko produces the ladle and brandishes it almost like a weapon.
A ladle, just for you.
A ladle? Her eyes shine in the near darkness. Give it here.
Not so fast. Give us the helm.
A trade, then. She extends the helm and reaches her other hand out for the ladle. As Reiko places the ladle in her palm, I grab the helm and the trade is made. We watch as the ship's phantom swipes the ladle through the air, testing it out. Then she frowns and looks down at it. Wait a minute, there's a hole in this.
Well, yes, you didn't think we were complete fools, did you? How would it help us to get the helm back if you still sunk the ship?
I can't believe this. She sighs heavily. Funayure are too well known nowadays. Everyone and their uncle knows how to drive us off. I guess we got lucky that I knew the Funayure lore. I exchange a glance with Reiko. I should really just cut out the middleman and start carrying my own ladle. Well, whatever. Have fun on your not-sunk ship. She shrugs and then sinks directly through the wood floor in front of us, as though it is no obstacle. The floorboards close over her head. Reiko and I stare at each other in the muted lamplight from the open doorway behind us.
So, she left? I guess she went back to the sea? That's where ships' phantoms come from anyway. I'm surprised that went so well. What a relief, honestly. I was worried we were going to have to fight her or something.
Just then, the ship rocks heavily beneath our feet, and there is an exclamation from above decks. I look down at the helm in my hands.
Right, let's get this back into place and change the course of the ship.
Reiko and I hurry out of the room and run for the ladder that will take us back to the top deck. We clamber quickly up to the top of the ladder and emerge, blinking, into the sea spray of the top deck once more. It's windy up here, and I watch Reiko's hair whip around her face as she holds her hat in place. In my hands, the wheel of the ship is heavy. All at once, Reiko points into the fog just off to the ship's bow.
Do you see that?
I squint and I'm just able to make it out, the hulking shape of a rock looming out of the fog before us.
We're going to hit it! Come on!
We scramble across the slick deck towards the helm stand.
I nearly fall over, trying to balance on the heaving deck without dropping the helm. Renko steadies me and we run on. Finally, we reach the helm. A cluster of ghost sailors cluster around it, looking confused and blurry in the dim light, but they part to let us pass when they see what I'm holding. Here we go.
Oh, that's big. Yeah, that's actually kind of big. With Renko's help, I heave the wheel up and slot it back into its post. As soon as we do, it begins to spin wildly, but in the wrong direction, tilting the ship towards the rock ahead. Renko and I grab the wheel's spokes and haul as hard as we can in the opposite direction. At first, it seems as though we will not succeed. The ship is too heavy and the wind too fierce. Then, however, the helm begins slowly to turn in the right direction. When I look up, there is a faint glow around us. The hands of ghostly sailors reach from behind us, in front of us, and from all around to grip the wheel and help us turn it. Their faces are impossible to make out, but with their help, the ship finally starts to swing wide of the obstacle ahead.
Renko, look, they're helping.
Well, yeah. My voice is hushed, but Renko looks up anyway and smiles.
They don't want the ship to crash either. But aren't they already dead? At least in this realm, they seem to be ghosts. I bet they have an attachment to the ship that goes beyond life or death. If they have the chance to save it, why wouldn't they?
Slowly, with the help of all of the sailors around us, we turn the helm far enough that the ship's rudder creaks far beneath us. We hold our breath as the rock approaches and then passes us by on the port side. Once we're certain that we've passed the obstacle, I let go of the helm at last and throw my arms around Renko in relief.
We did it!
She hugs me back, beaming.
Good work, Mary!
All at once, something bright flashes across my vision. The boundary! I could see it glowing, even through the deck from the room below us.
The boundary has reopened. I guess it's time to go home.
Renko pulls away and, with her hands on her hips, surveys the ship. The ghost sailors seem much calmer now, no longer panicking but instead drifting across the deck and seeming to talk to each other. The waves that splash against the sides of the ship have calmed too. The breeze is cool on my face and I smile. This was much more interesting than that museum's recreation.
Ready to go?
Yeah, let's head out. I got adventure. It's not simple. In the room with the boundary once more, I can see the bright light line of it, and also the weak spot at its center. I don't need the help this time. The boundary pulses with enough energy that all I have to do is take Renko's hand and step forward. The boundary opens up around us, and we vanish from the ghost ship, the sounds of the sea fading behind us. We stagger out of the boundary and find ourselves back in the room we left, on the museum ship. Electric lights shine around us once more, glinting off of the glass case that holds the helm. Renko adjusts her hat and leans over to peer at the helm through the glass.
Certainly looks like it's been through a lot in the last 5 minutes. Renko, that was hundreds of years ago.
I know. She straightens up and lets go of my hand.
Isn't it odd, though? We saved the ship, but it didn't affect reality. In our world, the Perseverance still sunk. Well, we didn't actually travel to the past. Just a different version of our reality. Or maybe it was just a dream housed within the boundary. If we could change the past, it would break all the laws of physics after all.
I start to laugh, but the sound of footsteps interrupts me. Renko looks up, alarmed. I glance at that open door, expecting to see the few Noyure again, or maybe one of the ghost sailors. Could they have followed us through the boundary? I've brought back physical items before, after all. I suppose it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to start bringing back creatures. Fortunately, the face that peers through the door's opening is a totally human one, with a mustache and a security guard's cap. The man frowns when he sees us. Uh-oh, I think. I guess they do have security here. What are you two doing here? Don't you know the museum is closed? I share a glance with Renko.
Mary here left something on the ship during the haunted tour. That's right, we just came back to see if we could find it.
Which we did, so we're all good now, sorry to bother you. That's not gonna fly. You should have waited until the morning and then called about your lost item.
It was urgent.
Come with me, I'll see you off the ship, and I'd better not see you at this museum again anytime soon. The guard motions for the two of us to walk ahead of him, and we do, exchanging another glance. As we leave, Renko leans over to whisper to me.
I guess it doesn't matter that much we are banned from the recreation ship. After all, we saw the real one.
Ah, fair enough. The guard watches us as we walk down the ramp, standing at the top of it with his arms folded. Once we're off the ship, he finally turns to go back inside.
Well, that could have gone worse. Funny, I'm not too worried about getting in trouble with a security guard. Not after almost drowning in a shipwreck. It was a nice date, wasn't it? It really was. Much better than the haunted tour. We should do it again sometime soon. Although not at this museum, I guess. Not until they forget about us, anyway.
Aw. She smiles at me, her eyes twinkling. I lean in and drop a kiss on her cheek before reaching down to take her hand.
Do you think any cafes are open this late?
We can always check. I'd like to make some notes about this experience before I get to go to bed.
We should write down the Funayure tip. It might come in handy again someday.
Hand in hand, Reiko and I walk off down the docks, chattering about the evening and our plans for the following week. Behind us, rocking gently in the quiet swells of the harbor, the Perseverance watches us go. The end. That was neat. That was cute. And I'm just gonna leave you with the music because it's really neat. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Bye.